Hey guys, today let's talk about Tyrion. Tyrion's perhaps the most beloved character in all of Game of Thrones. He's also a very unique character, and he's had some level of interaction with almost every other character in the show. He went with Jon to the Wall, he married Sansa briefly, he gave Bran a way to ride horses, and now he's the hand for Daenerys. He's also lived through many different stages in his own life. He went from being a member of the most powerful family, to being the most powerful man in the kingdom as Hand of the King, to being a prisoner and a slave, and he might not be the savior and hero of this story, but in my opinion, he'll be the savior of Westeros. Like I always do, I want to first take a look at the journey he had to see where I think he's headed. When he was a child, he was a lonely boy trying to find his place in the world. He understood what he was and how people saw him, but he was always a dreamer. He thought that perhaps if he could be productive, maybe even accomplish something worthy of note, that people would accept him, specifically his family, who he wanted nothing more than to be loved by. But the only love he got was from his brother, who he barely saw. He knew he could not be a knight like his brother, so he tried to be a High Septon. But after, he met Tysha, who was his first love. For a moment, he thought that he had what he had desired. He had love, he had a family of sorts, and he felt peace. But this was very short-lived. When their father found out, he forced Jaime to tell Tyrion that she was a prostitute that he had hired for him. And then he forced his knights to have their way with her, with Tyrion watching the entire time. This hurt him deeply, and I think made him think that no woman could ever love him, so he just gave up on that and stuck to buying them instead. Good job on the parenting, Tywin. This didn't break his spirits entirely, though. He was still a dreamer, and wanted to see all the wonders that the world had to offer, but he was never given permission to go out into the world by his father. At some point, Tyrion did become resigned to his fate. People would always see him as a dwarf and really nothing more. He would never get the respect and love that he desired from his family and others, but he knew to look at the positives of his life. He was still a Lannister with all the money and power that comes with that, and no one really expected anything from him, which allowed him to be as carefree as he could be. And in his eyes, because he is an ugly dwarf that everyone looks down upon, it doesn't matter what he says and does, and he can be a bit of an entitled jerk, because he's a Lannister and nothing bad could ever happen to him. At least, it was that way in the books. So when we first meet Tyrion, I don't think he was happy, but I do think he was content with what life had given him, though a bit bored, I suppose. But we quickly see that behind that image he gives of a person who does whatever he wants and doesn't care what others think, lies a much more complicated character. Think about the way that he consoles Jon on the way to the Wall, and helps him inside Castle Black, to him returning to Winterfell to bring a gift to Bran, to of course perhaps the best moment on Game of Thrones when he backhands the crap out of Joffrey.
Women. I'm telling Mother.
Oh man, I could watch that for days. Maybe it's because neither his father nor his sister ever really tried to console him, so he was left untainted and remained good and kind unlike his brother Jaime. So he still wanted to see the wonders of the world, and his family lineage got him the opportunity to go and visit the Wall, but he got way more than he bargained for. You see, until that point, yeah, he was hated for being a dwarf, but he still lived inside of a bit of a bubble. Almost everyone he met was still beneath him in standing, and either kissed his butt or ignored him entirely for being a dwarf. No one other than his family and a select few could actually make fun of him openly. So when he was out of that little bubble after Catelyn kidnapped him, he started to see how people truly viewed him and his family. For the first time, he couldn't just buy his way out of trouble. Well, not exactly. He did end up buying his way out of there, but not the way he'd hoped for. For the first time, he had to actually use his sizable wits and brain to get out of trouble. He learned to fend for himself. He suddenly had people following him in the form of Bronn and later the Hill tribes near the Vale. He was a leader, and he even led them into battle, and in the books, he fought in the battles as well. This was an important step for him. From that point, he only went up. He got himself an army in the form of the tribe, near the people of the Vale, and when his father asked him to act as hand in his place,
"You will go to King's Landing."
And do what?
Rule.
Why not my uncle? Why not anyone? Why me?
You're my son.
I'd guess that other than his marriage to Tysha, this was the happiest and proudest moment of his life. He finally got the opportunity he had been waiting for his entire life. An opportunity to help his family and gain respect. And oh boy did he enjoy his newfound power. He finally felt alive, and it was not because of the power itself. In my opinion, he's not hungry for power in the way that people like Littlefinger are. He just liked the game of it. I think he liked to finally feel superior in something because he felt that he was better at it, and for the most part, he really was. He knew how to play the game far better than his sister, and maybe better than everyone not named Littlefinger or Varys. Mostly, he felt like he was making a difference for the better. He felt like he was helping his family. Maybe he thought that in the end he would receive respect and gratitude. He even says so himself, but I don't think he got the answer he wanted.
I bled in the mud for our family. And as my reward, I was trundled off to some dark little cell. But what do I want? A little bloody gratitude would be a start.
Jugglers and singers require applause. You are a Lannister.
From there, stuff started going down. Once his status as Hand of the King was revoked, Joffrey's and his sister's treatment for him got way worse. This, of course, came to a head when Joffrey actually died, and he was blamed for it. He finally understood that no matter what he did, no matter how many people he saved, people would never respect him.
I saved you. I saved this city. And all your worthless lives. I'm guilty of being a dwarf. I wish I was the monster you think I am. I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
And if the fact that his father abandoned him and his sister wanted him dead didn't break him, then the betrayal of Shae did the trick. He was finally able to open up again to a woman he loved, a woman he gave up on just because he cared for her too much to put her in danger. In the books, he had it even worse, because when Jaime breaks him out, he tells him that he had lied about Tysha. She wasn't really a prostitute that he had hired. Tywin, their father, had forced him to make that up, and Tysha had actually truly loved Tyrion. And this is where Tyrion realizes everyone in his family had betrayed him. This family that he just wanted to be a part of, to be accepted by, literally left him for dead. So he decides enough is enough, that if they won't accept him, he will make them pay for what they did to him. So he kills his father, and I'm guessing he thought that without his father there would be no one to hold the family together. Then he started to rebuild himself. He still had belief in himself and his abilities, but he was much more jaded. He was much more humble, and man did he drink.
If you... I drink, and I know things.
So I think that when they put Dany in front of him, right when he was searching for a purpose again, the belief that she would be better, that from her that he could get the respect that he had always craved and longed for, that she would help him find himself again. Now there is a chance that what he saw in Dany was what he wanted to see in Dany, because at least in the show, they barely spend any time together, and we jumped from this
into your service. Your Grace, we have only just met.
Over to this.
I believe in you.
When in between, they were rarely in the same place. So there's a chance that they were together and we just simply didn't see it, or that he craved so much what she was offering that he saw what he wanted to see. Now she might be what he hopes for her to be, but I do see a chance that he will realize she's not fit to rule, which leads me to my next point. Just think of the road he had. He learned how to rule, he learned how to lead. He was humbled. He saw and met people from all over Westeros and even outside of it. He saw all different aspects of life. He was a slave for a bit, a member of a powerful family, a prisoner, and the Hand of the King. I see a clear direction to where his character is going. I see him as the true ruler of Westeros. Think about the kings, or would-be kings we know about. The Mad King, Robert Baratheon, Joffrey, Tommen, Viserys, Stannis, Daenerys, Cersei, and Renly. None of them, other than maybe Renly, wanted to be a king for the right reason. And again, other than maybe Renly, who we don't know enough about, and Daenerys, who we still don't know entirely, none are fit to be king. None of them have the right personality or the right reasons to be king. You think Jon is fit to rule the Seven Kingdoms? If so, we're following different people. Jon does not have the head for politics or the patience. He's too trusting. He's a great man, but that does not mean that he should be king. But Jon might help to arrive at the right solution. That, like the wildlings, a leader should be chosen by the people. Now, I don't think they will have a democracy, but I do think that a small council could be created that would choose the leader of the Seven Kingdoms, and no person in the show is more fit to be king or has had a journey with the proper trajectory that ends with them being a ruler. Yeah, it could be that it's his destiny not to rule, but to be the hand, but I don't see anyone else who should rule. One final point that I want to touch on about him and Cersei is that there's a scene from season 3 that I think is incredible foreshadowing.
I feel the need for actual revenge against the actual person who tried to have me killed.
I have no doubt the revenge you want will be yours in time. If you have the stomach for it.
I know that the popular theory is to say that Jaime will kill her. Heck, I said so myself when I talked about Jaime, but I don't think that Cersei and Tyrion's story together is over. I think the next season will be their final battle. Now, Jaime might be the one to actually kill Cersei, but I think that Tyrion will be the one to finally and gloriously bring her to her knees. I try to bring you guys more than just a quick prediction and give you the big picture, and a lot of effort goes into every video, so I hope you guys really enjoy them. I'd like to hear what you think will happen to Tyrion in the future, so you can comment or tweet me at @WatchersPod, and I'll do my best to answer, like I always do. As always, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.